Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to do a follow-up video from the seed starting video that I did. Make sure you go back to my videos in my channel and watch that one. I'll also link it up above here. So that video I showed you how to start your own seeds. Now the next step after they have germinated, which some of these are way past the point of just germination, but your next step with that is to do what's called thinning of your seedlings. So the reason why you want to do that is because you don't want to have more than one plant in each cell, because then they'll start competing for nutrients and space and potentially could choke one another out. So you don't want to lose both seedlings. So you have to do the sad task of thinning them out, and some people feel really bad about having to thin out their seeds because essentially you're killing one of the plants. But don't worry, I'm going to show you two different options that you can do when it comes to thinning out your seeds. One of them is a little bit more tedious, the other one is just simply removing. So we're going to hop into those steps right now. Okay, so for seedlings like these ones here where they are smaller plants and they're a little bit straggly, I would simply suggest just pulling the weaker of the two seedlings out of the cell. Now, the other option I'm going to show you is you can separate the seedling from the cell and replant it in a different cell. But when it's something like this, when they're pretty thin and kind of straggly, I usually will just pull out the plants that are not performing as well. You want to leave the one that is looking the strongest. All right, so looking at this cell right here, I have two sprouts. I have one that's going up right here and then one that has kind of flopped over and isn't looking so good. So I think I'm gonna pull this one. So I'm gonna simply just pinch it down by the dirt and pull it out just like that, and then you can toss it to the side. So you wanna do that till you have one seedling in each cell. All right, so the second method, like I said, is you can separate the seedlings from a cell and then transplant those seedlings. So an example I wanted to give is like these pea seedlings here. So I let these get a little too big before I decided to thin them out. And so I don't really want to get rid of the plants because why not have multiple plants? So I'm going to attempt to separate these and then grow them separately so I can get that many more plants out of it. So that is another way you can do it. You may risk losing one of the seedlings still or both, but definitely worth a try if you want to try to keep these more mature seedlings versus getting rid of one. So we'll go ahead and get started on that. So when transplanting these, I'm going to go ahead and just transplant them into a larger size container. Now, I would typically use a biodegradable container, but there's a little something going on in the world right now that is not allowing me to go shop for said biodegradable containers. So I do have to use plastic solo cups. So don't hate me because I don't like using plastic, but I will reuse these for other things, more seedlings down the road. But if you can, I always preach to do biodegradable or something that's all natural versus using plastic. But because of the way the world is right now, I am stuck using what I have on hand, which is solo cups. So that is what I'll be using, and I'm gonna go ahead and get started on transplanting these. Okay, so here I have summer squash. So I'm going to, there's two rather mature seedlings coming out of both cells, so I'm going to separate those and plant them into a larger container. These are going to grow quite fast and they're quite large plants because they're a vining crop, and so putting them into a larger container will actually help their growing process anyways. So what I'm going to do is I am going to attempt to separate the cells that they're in from the rest of the cells because I don't need to transplant those. So we're going to go ahead and cut their cells out like so. All right, then I'm going to just go ahead and remove those pods. So So we're left with that. You can see their roots are actually coming out of the bottom, so these are growing quite fast. I'm going to attempt to separate these without losing one or both of the seedlings, so wish me luck. And then I'm going to just kind of delicately separate the soil. These are quite root bound already, so like I said, I typically would suggest pinching these off much earlier in their growing process, but I was a little behind in doing this, so they have grown quite a great root system on each plant already, which is totally fine. So we're gonna try to salvage these. Fill your solo cup with dirt, and then you're gonna plant it in there. Make sure you pop a drainage hole in the bottom before you do that, so that there's still drainage coming out, because you don't want these sitting in soggy soil. All right, so fill the cup. Now we're going to take one of our seedlings and plant it in the cup. And make sure you fill the soil in around it. Get rid of any air pockets that there might be. Great, there you go. So you want to do that with any of your larger seedlings that you want to try to separate and keep. You certainly can pinch them off one of the seedlings at this point, but this was just showing you if you do want to try to save both of the seedlings, you certainly can do that. You can do that with the smaller seedlings too. It's just a little bit more difficult because they're a little bit more fragile than something of this size. So that is how you do thinning of plants. Like I said, the benefits of this are that it keeps the seedlings from competing for nutrients, most of all, but then also space within the cell. So you want to make sure that you give as much of the nutrients to a single plant so that you can get a stronger, faster growing, much more produce producing plant in the long run. So let me know what you guys think of this video below in the comments. If this was helpful, please let me know. Let me know if you have any other questions about starting seeds or pinching them. Eventually we'll be moving these outside and I'll show you that process. So we're just waiting for temperatures to get a little bit warmer. And pretty soon I will be showing you guys the vegetable garden bed build that I just completed. So look for that video coming soon. If you like this video, please give it a like. If you like my channel and want to see more videos like this, please consider subscribing, and feel free to share this with anybody in your life that you feel might benefit from such a video. Thank you as always for watching, and we'll see you next time on The Humble Gardener.